We're here.
Pointer's here.
Yes.
Carl's here. And Vern's here, and I'm here. Short agenda. I got my items on I want to talk about. Do you have items that either you want to talk about? You can open up to the public to say something if they have anything they want, and then we can adjourn. What I gave you was 2 draft resolutions I'd like to see sometime, which you need to discuss in the board. That, one is on the merit, to adopt a resolution that we can, if you do merit, that we're allowed to hire an experienced officer who's been who's certified through the state. That we should be able to hire them. Did you get all of it? It's
okay, experienced officer, I see it now.
Yeah, sorry. That's just some ideas about the way we could do it. Hopefully it's something to be drafted that, because right now they still have to take the test also, according to merit. But if you're already experienced officer, you got years in, the merit commission interviews them, they pass the agility test part of it, the psychological test if we do that type of testing. We should be able to go ahead and have a list for them just so we can go ahead and say that if we get vacancies, we're able to pull them from that list. Otherwise, everybody will have to continue taking the exam, which is okay, for new officers who's never been certified before. So I think it saves some money if you do hire people who have been certified. It does cost money. You'd have to sponsor them. I'd have to sponsor an officer, pay for the training. But the other way, they've already been certified. There'd be no training except the 400 hours maybe we sit them with field training officer that we have. So I'd like you to look at that, take it back to the board and discuss it. If it's worth, if it has any merit to it.
Did you, in looking through any of the files, did you ever find where the original, when it was set up, the merit system back in this
73?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did it state specifically that full-time road deputies, sheriff deputies have to go through the merit system? Did it say anything about that?
It says to be hired as a deputy. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen the original paperwork that the resolution or whatever was done back then that was establishing the merit system. I know it was established back when my dad was sheriff. He established it because he was sheriff from 70 to 74. I've never seen that actual paperwork. But that was my understanding, that all deputies were to go through the merit system. Originally, that's how it was set up.
We'll pull that and look at it.
Because prior to that, the sheriff never could succeed himself. So every 4 years you had a new sheriff, and you had all new deputies every 4 years. Every 4 years, new sheriff and new deputies.
Changed, yeah.
Sorry, turn the phones off. What it read is said that all screenings, exams, it's number 2, I believe, on the, I didn't bring the copy, but I know that I would have brought it. But they do have to test.
Okay.
Just turn it off.
That's it. So, but it's, again, back to the resolution. My draft idea is just twofold. I mean, we can save some money, hire some people that are already qualified, and not pay for the training, or we have to go through the paying the dollars that we really don't have, as I keep being told. So, and my other one is on the medical. I understand that.
Oh, you went ahead. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, is that the one you and I talked about that we had to have the county board do?
Medical.
Yeah.
Yeah, along with this one.
All right.
I just went through some of the statutes, and you'll have to read through them too. But Eddie and I went down to Clark County Tuesday and talked to Jerry. Jerry's been doing the county health board, health department, using for the past 10 plus years, he said. And he saves us a ton of money. Inmates who hurt themselves on purpose, they take their fist, run it through a wall, he doesn't pay for it. I don't think we should either. It's they did it to themselves. If they get in a fight and we don't break it up, that becomes our liability issue. We have to take care of them. If they have a toothache, they should be able to, we can make appointments like they do. They take them to the dental clinic there, and the inmate has to pay. And I know inmates are indigent, but they also use public aid, they use insurance. And I wasn't sure if the board, if we have them, do we have a resolution that says we will pay Medicaid rates or county health board rates or state aid rates? And we have to have that in order to do it. And it's outlined in this proposal where you can go in county jail, medical cost funds, Illinois Public Aid Code.
Have you talked to the states? I've got an appointment with him after this, so
Okay.
I can take it down there.
But it's, we're paying $50,000 a year for medical costs, and I think it's going to go up next year because we got to sign again. But yet, as long as I have, and I just kind of discussed the cost of a nurse. A nurse comes over and does an assessment when they come in. They have to be seen every 14 days prior, once they're brought in. It's a requirement. If you bring a nurse in once a week, 3 hours a day, Eddie said it'd run me about $25 a day. But that's $75, $300 a month to screen the inmates. I mean, that's not a big deal. Sick call, on the other hand, they fill out sick call forms. I want to see the doctor. Okay, here it is. We'll make the appointment at the hospital or a clinic for them. And they also are told up front, you're going to have to pay for this. But they'll pay the rates of the public aid code. Why, again, should we have to pay for their illness if we didn't cause it? Not being inhumane about it, but or compassionate, but it'll probably stop some of the sick call stuff too.
Well, I guarantee you it will.
They'll say that we don't have the right to do that, but statute does allow this. I mean, if they would read it once in a while, they'd know, but they don't read it all the time. But again, it's back to saving money. I'm almost certain we'd have to have a doctor, but there's doctors at the hospital that I could probably even hire a doctor for, I'm going on there, maybe $75 an hour to come over at least twice a month to sign off on their 14-day physicals. And it covers us. He's not there really to see them, but he's there to do the follow-up on the physicals. If there's something there that he thinks that should be corrected, well, we send them to the doctor, but not because we're going to have to pay it. Inmates don't come in who are always the best of health. And I've noticed throughout my career, inmates do get some good health care once they get in the system. Better so than what we get. But why should they not pay? I mean, if you want an aspirin, why should I not charge you 50 cents for an aspirin? Doctors charge you $3 in the hospital for an aspirin. Co-pays. Now, how do you collect later? It has to go back through the court, I would say. Jerry says he goes back through the court and adds it on as a fine, and then they have to pay it. He says he's got one guy right now that's been paying for 6 years, but he pays every month. They didn't cost the county. Go ahead.
44,000 in prisoner medical.
That's just this year.
That's basically for that contract that we've got.
That's for her to come in 3 days a week, do a physical.
46.5. I've got on.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit more than that.
Yeah, you've got the wrong one. 46.5 is what the budget is, and they spent 36,826.97 so far this year.
And are you still presently going at times having to go out to the clinic or hospital in emergency situations?
If they tell us it's okay. The
You
nurse-
go through your
they go through the carrier.
Okay.
I mean, if a guy slips off a bunk, breaks his arm, yeah, he's got to go.
Right.
We're not. You cannot deny them medical treatment,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that's on the form too. We're not going to deny it, but
Make them help
Try
try
to,
the
try
costs.
to cut some.
they need to help defray these costs.
Have you talked to anybody out at the clinic or the hospital about, maybe using them for some of the services?
I spoke to a board member who's going to get me and put me in touch with some more folks, so we can see about rates and.
Yeah. What are those? They're not doctors. The ladies out there like Susan Arp.
NPs, nurse
Yeah.
practitioner, or PAs.
Could you utilize them
That's what
instead of
you would
doctor?
use them more so.
Right.
There's practitioners.
Right.
I mean, there's probably ways to do sick call rather than taking them out, because I really don't have the staff to be taking them out.
Mhm.
Set an appointment, but if I could set up something with the hospital, say I need an NP
Right.
who does the same thing, pretty much same as a doctor, for general
Right.
practitioner, once a week, like the doctor does now. He comes in once a week and does sick call.
Right.
But,
See, several years ago, Dr. Sutton, he used to come up there several times a week, and then he stopped because of liability reasons, stopped coming up there. According to his insurance company, they didn't want him doing it. We had to start taking him out there to the clinic. And then we got, when we started doing this 14-day, Shelley Rourke, who's an NP, she was coming up there, and then that kind of went to the wayside. That's when we went to this contract. But I'm sure it could work. And it would definitely be a savings.
Big savings.
And to be a savings.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe as much as $20,000.
Right.
If not more.
The health department, I think that's a good idea.
Eddie did talk about that to our meeting the other morning.
Did he?
And he was okay with it and wanted to let everybody know that they were together with you.
He said it cost him about $25 an hour with benefits for a nurse. He also thinks he might be able to get a grant for a nurse who can do double. I mean, if I have to, $300 a month to me is a lot better than probably $3,600 a year if I had him come out.
Right.
It helps pays for his nurse promptly. It helps get another nurse that can do.
Other things for them.
It increases their efficiency and it saves you money, gets the job done.
Hopefully. So, that's all I had to pass that to you, and take it back with you and study it. You're going to talk to the state attorney about whatever.
I'll get a copy of it, talk to you afterwards, and get him. No matter what, we're going to have to, even if we like it, we're going to have him look at it anyway. So,
Otherwise, I believe the next contract with them, whenever it is, it's in January. Comes up January. And if we decide to not do it, I have to give them a notice of at least 60 days that I'm not going to renew the contract next year.
So we
Also,
need
it goes to 50-something in the contract.
So we need to make a decision by October then,
At least.
yeah, if not sooner. So we have time.
10th,
Yes.
November 10th, the letter's got to go and certified to them before then.
Okay,
I said, I'd like to terminate my contract with you. And
very good.
Yes. Did you get the policies, the policies that we were talking about the other day from the county
I
highway?
handed them to him. I don't know whether he also got an email to him, but I handed it to him on Monday or Tuesday, so we have it.
yeah, I saw them. I haven't gone through all of them just yet.
But you understand what they are and why we have to approve them and everything? The contract or the policies?
Oh, the policies are for the county.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you're asking me now.
Well, this is something, through the highway grant that federal grant that we received for the different villages in the county, and that we're required to pass those policies because of getting the grant. So we want to run these by everybody to see if they have a problem with them. If Some of them maybe affect your department, some of them obviously won't, but a couple of them will. And we want you to look it over, as well as the state's attorney, to get feedback from you guys.
The only one I'm going to have an issue, well, not an issue with is, I think my employee code of conduct is a little bit more stringent than what you're asking. I mean, I don't think you
And
would have
that's
an issue
okay.
with that.
That's
We just
good.
want to make sure that, you know, if yours says that you can go out and beat them in the head and the other one, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to add a little humor. But
Yeah, I mean-
you can be tougher, you just can't be lighter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And I
that's
think-
the main, and I don't think there's going to be any problem. But
No, I think again, I haven't read, I hadn't had a chance to, I've had some other things going on, but I will
give
get
it
it
all
read.
six.
How soon do you have
Let's
to
do
know?
it. Like, yeah.
When are we gonna vote on that?
Sometime next week,
I think-
because we'll
yeah.
need them before the next board meeting, we got to approve them, I guess.
And I will
That's
actually
right.
probably call you this weekend, to say yea or nay if that's okay. Or
Yeah.
We
email
didn't
you.
think, we're not looking for trouble, but we don't want to find it accidentally either.
We just didn't wanna, pass them without everybody looking at them.
Yeah, I went ahead and gave him my copies because I've been through it, and I wasn't sure when Aaron might have emailed them to him, so.
I guess by the end of next week, we don't need it this weekend. The end of next week would be soon enough.
I'm out of town next week, that's what I'm just saying. I have to call you and I can call Jeff and tell him if I have any issues or I can email him with any concerns. Again, you call this county policies highway department grant?
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
since I believe I have to take minutes of the meeting.
I'm not sure actually if the county highway grant is, the
It's
villages.
it's a infrastructure grant for 3 villages in the county.
An infrastructure grant, but you have to follow all these policies
Yeah.
to get there.
In order to, we have to have umbrella policies. Most of it's boilerplate, but they want to make sure that we're adhering to it.
Okay. Next. Like I said, I don't know what you have.
Okay, are you done then, Ed?
Hmm?
Are
Oh,
you-
I'm done.
Okay. Next on the
I
agenda.
assume the policy, the county policy is part of your agenda. yes?
Right, exactly. Budget?
Well, the sheriff and I are working on the new budget. We have gone over the old budget, and as you're aware, he has a budget of $1,074,915, and it does appear that we're going to be over that. I don't know whether you want to call it modestly or moderately, but you've gotten some grants in, is that correct, and some other funds in that, you know, I wasn't able to capture all of the funds that swirl around in the first year, but go ahead. Can I ask you a
I got
question?
some training money came in finally.
Yeah,
All that
15,
back, 14,008 something.
and then we had some, you had an additional, 4,000 that was going to come in?
From,
I don't remember what you said. There was some grant that you had just gotten.
you lost me because I don't know.
Okay, well, you said you just recently found out that you got some other money coming in from somewhere.
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, that's fine. I may have been misunderstood. But at any rate, we're looking at roughly, and we don't know until it all ends, but we're looking at roughly $1,100,025,000. So 1.125 as opposed to 1.075. So that's roughly a 50,000. We're going to be roughly 50,000 over what we expected.
Well, with that, did you include all the reimbursements that are coming back?
That's what I don't know what those figures
Oh,
are
well, I don't have them in front of me, but that's,
that I haven't captured.
yeah, there's quite a few
As far as
reimbursements there.
including, and when I say that, you know, I in the revenues, the administrative fees, I tried to capture most of those for this year, and I told you I wasn't going to be able to get all of them.
Get them all.
So we have some additional money, which the 15 is part of, and whatever else we have, and I don't have that either. So it's not as, first blush as bad as what it might appear
Looked
to
like
be.
to start with.
But we did talk about, obviously the sheriff's line items are the sheriff's line items. What we're worried about is the bottom line. We really can't tell any of the office holders how to spend their line items. And they can use toilet paper line item to pay for mental health. They can move all that stuff around. I think we're all aware of that.
Shift around.
But in general, we talked about, how we were going to try to get as close as we could to the budget, and that's all I can tell you.
And I'll give you 2012.
Yeah. Okay.
But we talked about, I know with Gene,
Yeah.
that you guys can go back and you can eliminate a lot of these line items, just because what you see in pencil
Right.
is what I want as a line item.
That's fine.
I don't want to have all the other.
Like the other departments have.
We don't need it. And I'll just, for instance, the administrative salaries, it says sheriff's salary. Well, Vicki should be in that. Shane should be in that. I'm in that. And even the custodians in administrative salaries.
Okay.
Deputies are separate. That way I know what we're spending on these people rather than spending one big lump sum of money. But we can talk more about that one. It's more than what you think. And two, you and I talked about the deductions because of what's coming up.
Right.
All right.
Guys, this is the first time I've seen it, so.
I know. We can discuss it, don't worry. Basically, it's really asking about, I'm not sure how much it was over. But hopefully,
What current year is that what you're saying?
yeah, right now it looks like it's, what was it, 70,000 more? I think I was asking for 70,000 more. But we have deductions that will bring that down. Because some things aren't set in stone just yet.
So the finance committee probably needs to get with you and go over it, after take a look at it.
Right.
Right.
I'll make a copy and get it to you as quick as I can. Once I digest it, I don't have to digest it.
Are we done on that then? Okay, and on the meals is another thing we had up. We wouldn't know how that was going, how things was working out.
Meals?
Yes,
What about
for the, how's that going and how?
the new program?
Yeah, the new program.
Won't know until after this month, so we see how much money we save the first month. I'd say it's almost cut in half.
From what you see now, it looks like.
That's why the figures again for the end of the bottom line. We've gone from $6.73 per day per inmate to $4.77 a day per inmate. They're getting 2,500 calories roughly a day. They're getting wholesome meals. They're getting the balanced nutrition. Dietitian does a monthly plan. They come off hot like they're supposed to. They get for breakfast and lunch that we can do because of the statute. Again, jail standard says 1 hot meal, 2 cold. Unfortunately, my food is not going to be too low because we're still paying for, I have to pay for staff meals too, based on the contract that they negotiated years ago or whenever. That cost me roughly $8,500 a year to pay for meals. To do 1 hot meal, actually 2 hot meals, the microwavable meal that they requested on the morning watch, midnight watch, which is called morning watch. The 8 to 4 people get, there's 2 meals there, it's $14 a day roughly. And then the 4 to 12 people can have, I provide them the meal that the inmates eat. There's nothing wrong with it. They have been eating it, but if they choose not to eat it, they know they will go out and get something else
At their expense.
at their expense.
So all the correctional officers and dispatchers, the extra meals they get from outside, they're paying for all those.
If it's a meal that I did not provide, they have to pay for it. I will not pay for it. I'm going to provide the meals that the inmate meal is there.
Right.
I mean, it's well balanced. It's nutritional, I think.
So yesterday, the 2 people that ordered from outside, that was on their expense.
But during day watch,
Yeah.
no. That's the ones that have to be because there's no. They have to have a hot meal
Okay. All
by the
right.
contract. It says I have to provide a hot meal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So instead of eating the bologna sandwich, they got. Okay, I'm with you now.
Okay. Now, like I say, the morning watch people, it says you will provide a microwavable meal. And I go to Save a Lot, I buy 14 meals, I keep it at 14 meals. I understand there's a couple of meals up there they don't like, which I'll get. And I don't blame it. As long as I know what they want, I'll keep it up there.
Right.
But
Right.
there's a couple of meals that probably don't taste good. And, we'll do something with it.
Where are the meals coming from?
Vigo County Jail.
From the people that provide theirs. What company is that?
Canteen.
Canteen, yeah.
Canteen provides about 37 correctional institutions that they're doing just in this area. We're the first in Illinois. And since we're talking about the meals anyway, I mean, Jerry Parsley, Clark County is going to start doing it also. But Jerry will be contracting for me for the meals.
So you're not providing them right now?
No.
Okay.
We will be, I have to put a bid into him. And, we'll end up doing, his will almost cover some of my meals, my meal costs.
So they're just taking a squad car over there and picking them up and bringing them home?
We use the Green Weenie.
Okay.
This outfit is the best one to do.
And you say you're using present personnel?
Right now. But again, he's getting ready to go to school here for 5 weeks, so I lose him. And I'm hiring part-time drivers, yes, at $9 an hour, 21 hours a week. They work 7, they're off 7, they work 7, they're off 7.
On this
And back into the meals, this money that we save enough, and even from Jerry's, will also almost cover the salaries of these drivers. So
is the 477 included the overhead?
it's everything.
Everything, okay.
I don't buy any. Only time I have to go,
I'm talking about the
plates, everything is provided by them.
the gas, and
Well,
cost of
I
labor.
mean, if you want to count gas, probably not, but as much as I see wasteful of gas that it is, I'll still stick with my 477 overhead.
But I mean, it costs.
But the cost, again, when I start with this other company,
Right.
Jerry, that's going to cover. I mean,
But it is a
right
cost.
now it's
Right.
okay. We spend a gallon of gas going 2 gallons of gas over and back.
Plus how much for the guy.
Right now it's not costing anything. It's the
But
drive.
he's present.
It's the custody.
Okay,
Correct.
but at some point it's going to cost.
It's going to cost me $9 an hour, 3 hours, $27 a day, times 7. I can't do any cheaper.
I know, but that's added on top of the 477.
If you want to put it in there now, you could. I'm not going to look at it that way. Again, because once the other one starts, it won't do that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I get to charge him. I know what they're going to charge me. There's a big difference in the dollar amount.
In other words, it should balance out.
It's either that or I spend time sending deputies out to pick up food when they should be on the road. We keep giving them the hamburgers and french fries every day. We give them the Joe's Pizza and the Pizza Hut. That's not healthy. And I will fight that. So.
Okay. Did you have anything else on your agenda? Oh, the
Salary
salary
differential.
differential. That's the other thing.
Where do we need to head with that? What's your plans on that? For the chief deputy position and
I'm not,
detective.
I'll be point blank with it. I'm not doing anything with it. This happened before my watch,
Correct.
6 years ago. You've known about this, and not you per se.
Right.
Board knew about it, obviously. Why didn't you do something then? Why is it sticking on my back that I need to go in and say, hey, I'm taking your money away?
Right.
I think it was an illegal thing back then. I wasn't even sheriff. But yet you're asking me to do it.
What's your opinion of it?
Well, I think part of it's going to work itself out, maybe. I'm sure you know about what happened yesterday. Since you're talking about 2 people over salaries. I'm not going to take the salary away. I'll just say that. Shane is the managerial. I can take his salary away and put him as a road deputy. And he has to go back to that salary. But again, I go back to, you've known this before. Why is it being put on me to take your money away? I read also in the merit, it says that they're the only ones who can take the salary away on merit. According to what I read, now I could be wrong, it says the merit commission has to reduce the salary. There's just one little line in there I found why it was there, I'm not sure. But, it's a small fortune there that $18,000 a year for 2 of them times 6 years.
Right. That's 100,000.
I understand. It's the overtime. I mean, to figure that I do overtime and then you don't do the overtime, I mean, it's just a nice little empty salary. I feel bad for the county on that one, but this should have been done.
I agree.
Good. I mean, why they approved it, I don't know.
Jeff, you have anything?
Can we apply for any type of grants for these radios?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the radios up. There's an ITTF Care Task Force. Has a bunch of money, and they're almost saying, give me a piece of paper with your name on it, and I'll give you some money back. We've submitted ours Friday. Now, the bad thing is that they have to have it's $50,000 for radios. And on my annual, I put the $49,000, whatever it is, on there for now in case we don't get the grant.
Right.
But there'll be a 50% of it. But you got to have the money up front. We can save $25,000 on our radios. Again, to be compliant by December.
So you turned that in.
We turned it in Friday. It's due the 15th of September. But turnaround, I found DeWitt County turned theirs in and got a return around for $400,000 in 6 days. They okayed theirs.
That's what I say. Definitely we need to go for that.
We'll be compliant. We have the radios, so we'll be good.
Okay.
And it also saved maybe not having to pay Clear Talk fees.
Right.
ECC or whatever it's called. But that's also in the budget, so in case we don't get it. Now, of course, that means radio maintenance, but brand new radios, you don't expect to go down for
a while.
A couple of days at least.
Although new technology, they have problems. Should be covered for a while.
Hopefully.
Anything else, Carl?
I guess back to the merit. You know, presently we've got 2 deputies that are not merit.
How do we know that? Just curious.
I know, and you know. Anyway, what's the plan with them?
You want me to put it out here?
Yes.
No problem. Yesterday I had Mr. Hopper come in and I explained to him about the merit system and what I found out. All my digging, and not that I was out trying to do it, but he has never been legally appointed as a deputy under merit. I cannot find anything out there that says it. I know based on that resolution, and I think you've seen it because the resolution about special deputy
Right.
to the other, because he mentioned that you told him about it yesterday. Okay. As I told him, I'll give you 48 hours to find something that shows that you have been actually legally appointed as a deputy under merit. And if you do, then this thing will be washed away and we move on with life. The union kept calling me to be in this meeting. I said, I will call you after this meeting is over. Based on their contract, if you are not a full-time deputy, you have no union rights. You're not in the union. You have to be a full-time deputy to be in the union. Him not being actually appointed correctly, he's a part-time deputy. So I explained to Mr. Weathers that this was it, but they're going to file their grievance on it. And I said, I'm sure you will. So I look forward to the grievance. Roger also told me on the way out the door, he said, you got till tomorrow, which would be Friday, at that time to let me know something. And he says, well, you'll hear from my attorney. If that's the case, if I have to hear from his attorney, I will go the next step. What I have to do. The other deputy wants to take the merit exam. Problem with that one is you can work. I understand. I found out you can work 10,000 hours a year part-time, but you have to do the IMRF for him after 600 hours. That's the only requirement. You don't get health care. You don't get life insurance. You don't get anything else. You lose all your benefits if you're just part-time. I know I spoke to the Merit Commission, and I said we need to get our ad in the paper to start looking to make sure we get ready to test, do our testing. And I want to do that. I want to make sure this department is up where it's supposed to be and not get any liability issues down the road. So.
And as far as testing with this new experienced officer,
Oh, yeah. We could put it in this first time, looking for, that could be one of the requirements, but we also can do testing, I think, at the same time, because there'll be some people out there who probably pass school, they probably make good officers.
Mm-hmm.
But let's make it, if you're certified already, you go to the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
But we also make it, if you're not certified, you must take the merit exam.
Right.
And we do it that way in the paper and make it the ad that way.
Okay.
So anybody certified can then apply, but then they have to go through the merit interview, do the agility test, because I don't know anybody can't do it, except myself.
So maybe you need this, if you're wanting to go this route, you want this done prior to doing or making the final decision for the hiring a new deputy.
I'd like to. I mean, otherwise we're going to just have to do the regular merit testing.
Right.
But I'd like to be able to do both, combine them this time,
Okay.
which I know we can do.
Well, I guess timetable, are you doing all
Until
this?
I can't do that till you,
Right.
the board does.
right.
I guess that's why I'm asking, do we need to prioritize this?
I would.
If you're wanting to, in the near future, get things going.
Near future being this fiscal year, hopefully.
Right.
And if you get on your agenda for next,
Our next meeting is September 12th. Whether we can get it done, maybe we can. If not, it'd have to be October.
We could always put it on the agenda and table it
If we don't get it.
if we don't get it.
Right.
That way, we can start the process, and that way it's on there, because if we did wait for the next, study session, that's not gonna work.
only thing I'm asking on is to have the merit, a resolution just says that we can hire from experienced officers also, and not just hire because they have to take the merit. Now, we'll use D. He's been certified. We could put him that way. He's experienced. You could go ahead and hire him if you want to. I mean, it's up to the merit commission how they want. This is my suggestion, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to get both of those proposed documents to the state's attorney. So that process needs to start this morning. Then we can always kick one out to the next month, but at least we got them started on both of those. So when everybody goes, well, what does the state's attorney say about it? We've got the and then if we change something, then we can take it back to him, and it'll be a lot faster process.
I think the county has a resolution, not a resolution, but it's about
An ordinance about it already.
about the pay for
Yeah.
accepting Medicaid and all that through the Department of Health.
And all we have to do, even if we do, we can, if we like this one, we can just say this one supersedes whatever else has been passed.
I know Eddie said he's going to go over and talk to their Board of Health over there again and see how they do, how they run things. But back to the other, yes, I like that as soon as possible. Otherwise,
And I got a little note to inject. You know, when I went like that, when I got the budget, we're within 30 or 35,000 bucks of me being. Okay, so I mean, we need to talk, obviously, Vinny, but it's not.
now you know
It's not one of these.
the unfortunate part. This Clayton goes to school starting Sunday, 5 weeks. I have 2 officers still that run that jail. I have a bunch of part-time people coming in to help. This is not going to be. It's not going to be pretty for 5 weeks again. They can't work. If I work, the bad part is when the jail works 12-hour days, they get time and a half for those 12. But then if they work 16, those next 4 hours are getting double pay based on the contract. I just, it kills us.
I assume on the payroll budgets where the union's involved.
That's all I put in. Longevity, there's 2 people that's going to have longevity, which one person's not getting it now because he's management.
Well, but still,
No,
I mean,
know.
it's in
There's only
there.
one person next year for longevity. The one thing that's not in there, because we have not gone to the table for wage opener again for dispatching. That's this year too. November, I believe we got to start. So those figures are not there yet. So I don't know what we're going to look until we can. But then, you know, it's what if you did 40 cents an hour. I'm just not saying we are. Times what it was 6 people and plus whatever. So we may have to ask for concessions this year.
And we've got you haven't heard from the deputies to start that negotiation.
No.
yet, have you? For the-
No, only thing I've received is the dispatcher and jail staff for wage opening.
Yeah. My understanding, the deputies, the
November.
contract expires this November. Yeah.
I want to be ready for that. You need to, state's attorney is supposed to really sit in on our negotiations. But if he's too busy, which I found out in one of my training classes, that I have to petition the court to have a state's attorney from the pool, and they will come in and sit with during the negotiations for us. There's nothing wrong having an attorney there. And one who also understands what we're doing. All right.
Do we want to say anything about this year? I mean, is the committee
on the,
spending and so forth? I mean,
yeah,
we're-
we're probably,
I mean, we need to be,
where are we right now?
well, you know,
35.
35 to 50.
And is there any way we're gonna be able to curb any of that?
With the overtime?
Over the budget for this year?
Short of closing the jail?
Should we close it?
I can't, again, I wish that was 8 to 5. I guess I could just say at 5 o'clock we lock the doors and leave bologna and stuff out for the inmates to come out and feed themselves, and we'll come back next morning. But we can't do that. I don't stop.
We just need to cut every corner we can possibly cut.
Well, I think the food budget's not cutting a lot, but it's going to cut some out. Again, if you count all the reimbursements in?
No, I
See, that's the part.
and I don't have that here to give
Right,
you.
so we don't
And it
know.
might be
I
better than
think
that,
we're
but
gonna
I
be-
have, and again, that's not expenditure or revenue that I've counted. So
far.
it's going to be additional revenue. Next year will be even cleaner. It's just impossible to, with
I
all
don't
of
think
the
we're
other
gonna
things.
be that 35. If we are, but that's, again, those revenues are not added in yet.
We're definitely gonna be under last year. The question is
Well,
how much?
How much?
No, we should be under this. But over and under. I think with the reimbursements, we'll probably be very close to what you gave me.
We can pray.
Yeah, because we need all the help we can get, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then, you know, it bears saying again, I mean, that 632,000 that we are in the hole at the start of the fiscal year is not going to evaporate unless we all work on it.
That's right. And, yeah, if everybody would go over, then our deficit just gets greater and greater.
But, you know, we're going to get better at it as time goes on.
Yeah, it looks like maybe next year's going.
Well, we're hoping.
Yeah.
Also, where are we at on a plan for, I guess, working on the deficiencies back in the sublots?
Yeah.
We're nowhere to do any money. The best thing I got going is the welfare to work folks, but they're supposed to send me 3 more. I think tonight at my town hall meeting, I will probably ask for volunteers and things to come in. People to donate some time and go to Walmart and Ace and every place else, True Value, and ask for donated paint. And we have to shut down a block at a time to start doing things. I mean, electricians cost money, but we can find some electricians who will donate their time to us. Pull wires, make it secure like it should be, and put the security lights in. It's going to take us, we're looking at 2-3 years.
I want to reiterate.
To repair this place.
Right.
I mean,
But we got to get started
Yeah, we
at some
need-
point,
yeah.
and,
Well-
you know, that's good that you're, you know, looking at some.
Looking at not trying to do it all at once, but we can't.
And I want to reiterate that we have, and I haven't counted in year-end excess that we wouldn't spend. We said that you could use 10,000 of that. I know that's
I think
not
we're
much.
already there. Because the unfortunate part is that the toilet's backing up, all the lines are plugged, windows are broken, winter's coming. We just found a window broken, the screen cut from outside where one young lady's been jumping up in the backside throwing cigarettes in. Couldn't catch her. No cameras out there. If we had cameras, we'd know who it was, but I had Bob go over to Shanks, was putting plex in the one window so they can't break it anymore. Screen, probably going not chicken wire, but expanded metal enough. She won't be ripping it out. I had them come up and fix the fan so at least keep the hot air out. And then we had 14 pounds of dirt on those blades. At that time, Bob blew it all out. We've got a lot of the plumbing done now.
So you have gotten a few
Oh,
things.
We had a plumber come out from another company out of not here, but out of Charleston. Local guy that works here though. And, things are working again. Now we just start cleaning the toilets up again with some acid.
Still have
Sorry.
a lot of problem with them plugging drains. Do they still plug a lot of drains?
Now, Ted told me they've been dropping their potato chip bags and everything else down there, and that stops it up. And I told them to keep doing it. I'm not going to fix these toilets anyway. You can sit up here and felt been doing it all these years. Just kidding. But they understand not to be throwing crap out there. Costs money. And if I had to spend money there, I can't spend money elsewhere to take care of the other things for you. The showers, you know what they look like. I'm trying to find a bricklayer. Might donate his time. Let's buy glazed brick, at least for the inside. Let's put showers in that. I mean, the brick now.
Oh, right.
Get rid of that metal that's so rusted and filthy, and just use glazed brick and paint the brick on the outside, so they have something. It's clean, it's healthy. One person's already contacted the Board of Health about it. One of the inmates got smart, I guess. So the guy can sue. I mean, hey, I don't blame him not wanting to take a shower in that stuff. I wouldn't either.
Certainly wouldn't want to touch anything.
Well,
not good.
you've seen it, you know what it looks like.
Exactly.
That's why we need to, as soon as possible, get all of it done, as much as we can.
And when you say as soon as possible, that's not, probably won't be in this term.
Yeah.
Get it totally done.
Well, not totally, but get started.
Right,
You can't eat a whole whale, but you can
Yeah, but
eat him a
yeah,
bite at a
little-
time.
Get some.
Well, I want to start with the lobby area, and then we move right into the isolation areas, those two first, because then I have to move the women over to the men's side, and the men up to the bullpen, it's going to be very crowded. If I don't have that many women, I can keep them both in the isolation cells. They're done, they're clean, then we work on the next cell. I have 10 new beds coming that we did not pay for. They're being donated, they're double bunk. They get some off the floor.
Right.
Do the federal prisons or state have surplus or stuff that's available?
Sometimes. That's where we get the beds. Surplus.
Well, looks like a start anyhow, just slow.
We'll go over and I'll get the revenues that we haven't got captured. We'll get an idea what those are.
If I know the one that would have brought it.
Yeah, so we know.
Look at that,
Okay.
see where we stand.
Sorry, I should have probably, I didn't even think about that this morning. I should have gone down and had Gene look at those.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
Before we adjourn, I know we got guests. You anything? Mr. Busby?
Yes.
You got anything?
I enjoyed being my first time here and enjoyed the feedback and everything that you folks are, everybody's pitching in, working together and trying to get things done. And that's, of course, I used to be a deputy sheriff. I realized some of the things that I worked with Carl and those companies. It's a situation that a lot of people in the public don't know what's going on in there. They think it's like he said, it's an 8 to 5, and after that, but it's a sinkhole, really. It requires money constantly. But just keep up the work you can do. Don't give up.
Mr. Allen?
Only thing my comment, and I don't understand the details behind it, but he said there's something like 6 years worth of overpayment that's over $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped the overpayment, it's how much a year?
Roughly 18.
That's a big bullet. That's the only comment I have, but I don't understand the details behind it. But if we know something's being done that's not right, I think we ought to fix it.
I agree.
Mary Lou?
Just kind of interesting. It's the first one of these committee meetings I ever sat in. I realized that there's been quite a few problems. And I sound like everybody's trying to work at it, do a good job. So I know there's a lot to do with that merit thing that hasn't ever always been done quite properly. I've only been on 2 or 3 of those things, so it's kind of a learning process with all of us.
Mr. Crab?
I enjoyed it.
Mr. Busby?
I'm freshly appointed to the merit board. I'd just like to say we had one merit meeting, and I received a check for $50. I'm going to turn it back in. I don't need it. It's a drop in the bucket, but the county can maybe fix something.
I believe there's a stipend in that merit commission thing, that's why you got it.
Yeah, I would suggest to the county board that they do away with that $50.
Fine by me, I mean,
If it's all right, I'm like
I'm
Roger,
just
I can
happy
turn
to
mine
serve.
back in, it's not
I'm
a
just
big
happy
deal.
to help
I don't need
serve.
it,
Well, Roger, you can go buy some acid for the toilets.
Yeah, maybe you can use it, maybe you can use that $50
Really
to buy
heavy
some paint or something.
the boric acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to give this to the board because I know I got my own copy, but I found this interesting. It's just an article you can read at your leisure. It's Clark County, Indiana. It's not Clark County, Illinois. Sheriff sued the county board for $1.6 million. and one. Actually, they're going to mediation to figure out how they can, he will have to close down.
Well, I hope you're not after even 20,000 from us. That's what I'm
I'm not after anything.
We'll
I
just
just
close
wanna-
everything.
I just want to get this done.
Get some of that work done.
I want that place to look like it should again.
Do you have a copy of those two documents that you could
Which
give me to take to the
Ones that
proposed
just-
ordinances?
Email mine.
That's what I wondered, because I know you probably have them on computer and can duplicate it. That way I can give them to Mark when I see him. That's the only thing I had a question on.
Ready to eat?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, if there's nothing else, I guess we adjourn.
We'll set up a committee meeting on here very shortly on budget.